Chair recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Kiley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In California this last year, we passed an initiative to restore some consequences for things like retail theft. And my slogan in connection with this proposition, Prop 36, was make crime illegal again. Because there are some things in our state, like stealing, that are sort of classic textbook criminal behavior that because of our criminal laws, folks could basically carry out with impunity. So that did pass. There are also at the federal level, as has been mentioned, ways in which we need to be enforcing the law against serious crimes in a more aggressive fashion. But perhaps there should be a corollary to that slogan, make crime illegal again, which is to make non-crimes legal again, which is what we're talking about today. You know, we shouldn't be prosecuting people for buying Swiss cheese without holes, or for making a stamp with the wrong kind of duck on it, or for accidentally buying the wrong kind of fish for your aquarium. I think there are some basic, intuitive, common sense principles we would all agree a criminal code should have, that it should include things that a typical person either knew or should have known are wrong or are illegal. They should be reasonable things that make sense to people. Yes, this is the sort of thing that ought to be illegal. They should be in statutes that were issued by elected lawmakers. They should be accessible to the average citizen. They should be easy to understand for the average citizen. They should be coherent. We shouldn't have conflicting criminal laws, and they should be enforced in an even-handed manner. But none of those things are met with the current criminal code. There's a lot of, as we've discussed, strict liability crimes. There's a lot of things that aren't reasonable and don't make sense. It's a 75-to-1 ratio for crimes that are issued by bureaucrats as opposed to lawmakers. A lot of the criminal code is behind paywalls that you have to pay money to access, and then even if you can access it, you can't make heads or tails about what it says without cross-referencing the rest of the code. There's all kinds of conflicts within the body of law, and because the average person commits several crimes a day unwittingly, it can only be arbitrary in its enforcement, and so it's not enforced in an even-handed manner. And some of the consequences for this are, number one, the diversion of resources towards prosecuting true crimes. Number two, a weakening of respect for the rule of law, of course. And then number three, a loss of freedom as sort of the default in society, as you have to walk around on eggshells, not knowing what is and is not allowed. Mr. Canaparo, I thought I'd throw out a few questions. You can address any of them, and then if there's time, perhaps the others could weigh in as well. Number one, do you think it would make sense to say that we shouldn't have any further crimes that are issued by regulators as regulations, and even those that currently exist perhaps should be reconsidered by Congress? And then also, what principles should we consider in drawing the line between criminal and civil liability? Like what sorts of offenses are more appropriate for one than the other? And finally, are there due process issues that exist because of the nature of the criminal code as it now exists?
So let me take the second one first, because I think it's the easiest one, which is I would default to the traditions that we inherited from British common law and that has been in American law forever, which is that the criminal law is meant to be for those things which are morally reprehensible. Now, that doesn't mean, of course, that accidents or sort of morally neutral things which impose harm don't get punished through civil remedies, right? But as Professor Turley mentioned, to make those all crimes fundamentally erodes that difference and changes the nature of citizenship. So that's question number two. Number one, let me get to, we've been touching on the counting and how we count and how we cut regulatory crimes, right? I think actually you can do both at the same time. What I would recommend is that you direct to every agency, and not, again, probably not through the Department of Justice, because this would be run through the Office of Legal Policy. They don't have the staff to do it. I would say probably direct every agency to send you a list of all the regulations which can be criminally enforced. And if they don't do that, any that they don't send you are cut, voided immediately. And why this is good is because there's a ton of stuff the agencies have that they don't actually use and they don't particularly need. And so what they'll do is they'll send you the stuff that they think is important. And by virtue of what they don't send you, you can sort of say, okay, the Swiss cheese kind of crimes, those go away. But here are the ones that the agencies, in their limited time and resources, thought these are really important, let's keep them. So I would say, in short, tell the agencies, tell us what's important. Anything that doesn't show up on your list is voided immediately. So you could sort of do both at the same time.
Thank you. I yield back.